Welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. This is my esoteric journey where I'm consistently learning progress over perfection. I appreciate you joining me here on Scorpio Soul Time with Ronique. Every few weeks, when there's a new moon or a full moon, I record a video letting you know what the energies are in our universe. As they say, as above, so below. So whatever is going on in the heavens above with the planets will affect us down here on Earth. So I appreciate all of you coming and joining me here. And for all of my new subscribers, welcome. And for my old subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in with me every few weeks. And if you haven't subscribed, please feel free to hit the subscription bell below so that you will get notified every time I have a new video. So today we are talking about the full moon lunar eclipse that occurs at 24 degrees in Capricorn on July 16th, 2019 at 5:38 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So anytime we have a full moon, this means that the sun and the moon are sitting across the sky from each other. So at this lunar eclipse, the sun is sitting at 24 degrees in Cancer, and then opposing it or across the sky from it is the moon, which is in Capricorn. So this full moon is really intense. And the reason why I say that is because the full moon is sitting in a conjunction to Pluto, which means it's right next door to it. So the Pluto planet is at 21 degrees of Capricorn. And remember, Pluto is in retrograde in Capricorn right now. And then Saturn, which is the ruler of Capricorn, is in conjunction with the South Node. So there's lots of Capricornian energy going on right now. Saturn is in Capricorn, Pluto is in Capricorn, and then the moon is in Capricorn, which is sitting across the sky from the sun in Cancer. So there's a lot of energy around your career, work, because Capricorn rules the 10th house. And the 10th house is all about not only your career or your job, but also like your public side of yourself. So how you look to the world, your kind of like your fame, anything that deals with honors or anything that relates to kind of how you feel in your everyday world, but where you make money, where you present yourself to, your community, but in more of a career-based way. So remember, this lunar eclipse is going to be a little tough for some because the full moon is now highlighting the Capricornian energy, which has to do with events and people and situations that are possibly needing to end, because a full moon, remember, is when the sun and moon, since they are across from each other, the sun is illuminating things, so bringing things to light. So there could have been some events at work or in your career or something dealing with your status or your fame that could have been hidden for a while. And Pluto rules any kind of death and regeneration, but also secrets, things that are buried down deep. So it's kind of like this tug of war between Pluto, which is your inner self, things that you keep secret, but then Capricorn, which rules anything that is dealing with the public in your career. So it's like this tug of war between things maybe that you didn't want to come out at work might come out. Colleagues might be having a tug of war with each other. You might see more tension at work or in your career. So this full moon is really going to be kind of a test of all of our will, if you will. And that's why I actually brought out the Devil card, because the Devil card is actually represented by Capricorn. And in the major arcana, it's the number 15 card. And if you remember, the devil actually has these horns like the goat, which is the symbol for Capricorn. And these two figures have these chains around their neck. But remember, the chains are very loose, so they could actually get out of those chains if they wanted. It's not so much that the devil is holding them captive, it's that their own minds are making themselves feel like they're being held captive. So the devil energy is going to be very strong during this full moon in Capricorn, because remember, the energies between Pluto, Saturn, which is like the teacher of, like, you know, Saturn is that planet that teaches you lessons. And if you haven't learned your lessons, it's going to present situations and events in your life that's going to test you. And if you fail the test, then you will probably have more karmic lessons come back to you in the future. So this full moon is really going to test our inner spirit to really like get out of our own mental energy and kind of like figure out, okay, at work, do I need to, you know, be doing, have I been putting in all of the effort that I could? Have I been slacking? Are there people around me that haven't been putting in their work? You know, this full moon also is going to light up areas of your work life or your career life that maybe you hadn't thought about before. Because remember, the full moon is not only endings, but it's enlightenment. So I want you to think about during this phase, remember, anytime we have a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse, if you haven't looked at that solar eclipse video that happened on July 2nd in Cancer, I invite you to look at that video as well, because solar eclipses and lunar eclipses energy lasts for up to 6 months. So that it's interesting because that solar eclipse was almost like the complete opposite, if you will, in terms of energy, because it was more about home and your own energy, how you feel about family. But this one is all about what is out in the public and what is the way that you show up in the world, whether, you know, it's how you want to appear in the world or how you really appear. And I think that we need to remember that 6 months ago, back in January, you know, think about where you were in your career. Where were you at with your job and how you wanted to move forward this year? Because I think no different than the solar eclipse, it's time to figure out what isn't working and get rid of it. Because anytime you have a full moon, it's going to show you things, or it's going to start giving you clues to what is no longer working. And I can tell you from my own self, oh, the King of Cups just fell out. I can tell you from my own self that my career has changed drastically. I'm in a career that I didn't even think that I would be in, but I'm enjoying it. I'm a month in now, so I really do like it. I really feel like I was made for this job, if you will. But, you know, it's things that I didn't know I was going to be interested in. And so I just think that this lunar eclipse is going to ask you whether you want to or not. It's going to present some situations at work. It's going to present, you know, if you're looking for a job, maybe you need to start looking in different places. Maybe you're not actually in the career that you thought you were going to be in. Because I think that that's another part of all of these eclipses, that they are trying to help you and steer you in the right direction, or they're going to lead you in areas that you didn't think you were going to be led in. So let's turn over these 3 cards. We're going to do a past, a present, and a future. And we're going to see what the cards have in store for us on this lunar eclipse is going to tell us. Because Anytime you have all these energies highlighting one sign, you know that that part of your life is really going to get some impact. And so this one is all about this Capricornian energy with the moon, Pluto, and Saturn all sitting in Capricorn. So we had the King of Cups fall out. So this is the main energy going on for us at this time. And the King of Cups, remember, he can deal with a physical person, or it could be the energy that is surrounding you. And so the king obviously rules the land, right? But cups have to do with emotional energy. It can be someone at work. This could be a boss, but it could be a boss that has more of like a fatherly figure to it, or it could represent someone in your life, or it could represent you, where you are being maybe a fatherly figure and maybe helping someone at work, helping someone in your career. So think about someone that could be emotionally helping you, steering you in this energy as we come into this full moon. All right, so that's the overarching energy. In the past, we have the Six of Pentacles. And if you haven't looked at how to read the tarot or the beginning tarot, I actually have a playlist on Scorpio Soul Time that's called Beginning Tarot. And I walk through each of the suits, so it will kind of help and guide you if you need some help on understanding what the different cards means. So this is actually in our past, and this is the Six of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles basically represents the haves and the have-nots. So this person is giving his wealth to these people who are begging for help, for money. And you can see that he's also holding a scale. So it's kind of like he's trying to balance between, you know, what do I give or what do I keep? But the good thing about the Six of Pentacles is that this could be you or this could be you. So in the past, how have you helped someone, or how have someone helped you maybe find your job? Maybe your career didn't used to be on, you know, the best road, and then someone gave you an opportunity. So this definitely could represent in your past how you have either helped someone else, or someone has helped you by giving you an opportunity, a job. Remember, Pentacles also deal with resources. So maybe someone gave you an opportunity, someone gave you money. It can be literal money, but it could also mean maybe someone gave you a little more time. Remember, the King of Cups is the overarching theme. So this could be a boss that could have given you opportunities or time, or maybe it's someone who gave you an extension on a deadline. You know, it can be anything relating to resources that were either given to you or you gave someone else. So that was in the past. The present is actually the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a great card because it is symbolizing it is time for you to be celebrated. You can see this man is on his horse and all the townspeople are celebrating him. Maybe you had a great victory at work. Maybe you and your team were able to pull off a project that you weren't quite sure if you were going to get it done. Maybe you have had, and it could be you're coming into a victory too, because remember, this is the present. So this could be something that's just happened, or maybe you are getting ready to step into victory once this full moon occurs. And it could be, remember, it's 6 months energy here. So this could be something that is maybe culminating now at work. And what I like about the Six of Wands is that it shows not only victory, but you feeling good about yourself, you being celebrated by those around you. And so what I like in this full moon in Capricorn, remember, we're all talking about work and career and how you show up in the world. And so I think that this is definitely showing that even though the Pluto and Saturn energy may be a little rough during this full moon because of, things coming out, you being enlightened about a situation, it sounds like you're going to be able to deal with it. You're going to be able to still have a victory once you get rid of what you didn't need, right? And in the future, I love the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is basically like the wish card. And you can see this merchant, he has all of his cups up here. He has this little smirk and grin on his face. And so this is showing that in the future, you are going to be rich with abundance in your emotions. So you're going to feel very good about yourself. You're going to feel very emotionally fulfilled, right? So this could be anything from, remember back here, you were already being rewarded and celebrated. And then back here, someone was either giving you opportunities or you were giving them opportunities. So it really sounds like at your job or in your career, you're really going to have a positive experience moving forward, but you're going to have to make sure that you let go of what is no longer needed. I think that all of this is representing this positive flow of energy, but it has to come from either maybe a fatherly figure or maybe someone that's giving you opportunities in the past. You're going to have to understand that different things are going to have to be let go of before you really know if you're going to be celebrated or if you're going to be able to have an emotionally fulfilling event or career or job coming up in the future. And so I think in this, full moon lunar eclipse, take some time to really be honest with yourself. Don't just assume that, everything that you're seeing right now is like the best that it could be. For all you know, you might not be in the right career. You might need to have someone, maybe give you a little hint and say, you know what, I think you might be better in this department. And instead of taking it as a negative, look at it as maybe this person is actually giving me an opportunity that I'm going to thrive in better into the future. So I think that sometimes we always assume that everything is rosy and where I'm at is where I'm supposed to be for the next 20 years, especially in this Pluto energy, which is about shedding things and regeneration and really rebirth and getting yourself, rising up from what is no longer serving you. And I think that this is a beautiful spread for this lunar eclipse because it's really highlighting that even though it might not be easy, even though you might have some experiences that come through that might be difficult, you can still have victory. You can still have, opportunities presented to you. And I'm also going to pull an oracle card because I got this new deck and it's actually your Secret Wealth Code oracle cards. And what I like about this deck is that it talks about different parts of your life and how you can, what planet can actually help you gain some good insight about your wealth. And so wealth doesn't always have to mean money, right? Wealth could mean resources. It could mean opportunities, like we said with the Six of Pentacles. It can also mean emotional fulfillment, right? All of the things that we've been talking about here with the cups, even the wands with the Six of Wands, with the townspeople celebrating you with victory. I think that wealth can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And I think in this energy that we're coming up on, it's not going to be easy for everyone because everyone is not ready to kind of see the underside of what they haven't faced, right? And sometimes the full moon brings out things that we didn't really want to know about. We didn't really want to, hear that our colleague has, been spreading bad rumors about us, or we didn't really want to know that, you know, maybe the boss is now saying, you know, the division needs to be split up because, you know, there's layoffs. But remember, it could also mean that this is an opportunity for you to leave and start something new. So let's pull a oracle card. I'm going to split the deck and just see what the messages are for us in this full moon in Capricorn. So it says the communicator, Mercury. And you can see down here, it says words have power. So truthful, outspoken, flexible, clear, quick, relatable, friendly, intelligent, open-minded, intuitive, discriminating, informed, and articulate. The communicator is ruled by Mercury. And so already what I like about this card is you can see that all of the words that she's saying that are coming out of her mouth are like butterflies. And so to me, that is signaling the information and the messages that you convey out your mouth they have the power to either be a great illuminating source, or they could also be something that can hurt, right? I think anytime we communicate, there's this sense that we need to not only think of what we're saying, think about what you say before you say it, especially in this time when, you know, information is going to come out at work or in your job or your career that maybe you didn't want to hear, but you needed to hear. And so I already like this communicator because I think that it's telling us at this time of, you know, enlightenment and this full moon, it's a possibility that we might need to communicate in a different way, right? We might not need to have all of our inner mind talking and listening. You know, we still need to listen to everyone, and we need to be able to communicate better. And sometimes I think at work, that's sometimes just the biggest issue, right? Sometimes it's just that we haven't listened to what others are thinking. So the communicator says the mantra is words have power. The sole desire is to be a channel for clarity and growth. The purpose to speak the truth and illuminate clarity and understanding for the positive growth of humanity. The communicator knows the power of words to educate, inform, uplift, grow, transcend, open possibilities, and connect to the truth. Communicators gather, process, and share information to help uplift humanity. Your word is as good as gold, and you expertly use it to share ideas, information, and concepts which help others evolve and grow. So I really like this because I feel like this is what I was talking about with your work and your career, opportunities being presented to you, victory possibly coming in if you're able to embrace what you need to change. And I think this oracle card, the communicator, really wants you to think about what you need to let go of in this full moon. And also remember, the people around you are going through similar energies, right? We're all on this earth at the same time, going through stressful energies. Anytime you have an eclipse, it's a major shift of energy. So it's like, remember, before you just blurb out something and before you don't have time to think about what you want to communicate, take some time and just be with yourself and understand that just because your colleague just said something rude or you want to say something rude back, take 5 seconds, catch your breath, and really think, okay, is this going to be something that's going to uplift me? Or is this just going to bring me further down into a situation that I don't want to be in? The energy is beautiful here. It is saying that there is plenty of abundance and victory and opportunities that are going to be presented, but you have to communicate in the right way, and you have to be honest with yourself when you are talking with your colleagues and when you're meeting with, different people at your work. Like, remember, this Capricornian energy is very strong. So as you go into this full moon in Capricorn lunar eclipse, remember, there's plenty of positive energy to be found, but you have to shed what you don't need, which could mean finding a new job, finding a new department, finding a new way to talk to people at work and communicate your feelings without, being the person who is, take the higher road. I think that's what I'm trying to say is communicate in the right way and take the higher road, and all of this abundance is going to definitely show up over the next 6 months. Well, thank you very much for joining me here on Scorpio Soul Time with Ronique. It's always a pleasure to have you. I think that, between the solar eclipse that we had back in July and this lunar eclipse on July 16th, these next 6 months are going to be a challenge, but they're also going to, I think we're all going to come out better on the other side. I think in December and January of 2020, when we look back, we're going to say, you know what? I needed to shed that. I needed to get rid of that. I needed to step into a new career. I needed to, find my true calling. Maybe, what you've been doing for the last 20 years hasn't been your calling. So remember, this is like the time to be honest with yourself. Don't let your colleagues or your boss, get to you. Think through what is best for you, and trust me, the energies are going to help you communicate exactly what you need going into these next 6 months. Okay, have a great day. Have a great lunar eclipse season, and I will talk to you next time on Scorpio Soul Time. Bye.